Welcome to Devotions from Israel, a 5-minute word of encouragement. Today's devotion comes from Psalm 137. On my right hand I wear a ring. Inscribed is a small portion of a verse that comes from Psalm 137. You're going to hear this read in just a moment. I wear it on my right hand, on my fourth finger, to help me be reminded of how special Jerusalem is. But even more than that, of how God is to be our highest joy. Let me explain as we read together Psalm 137. Now, the context for this one particular psalm is that the people of Judah have already been exiled to Babylon. They have been residents of Jerusalem and Judah, and now they are far away from the promised land. Their hearts yearn to be back in Jerusalem. They remember the temple. They remember God's provision. Of course, these are Judeans and Jerusalemites who unfortunately disobeyed God and were people who were reaping the consequences of their disobedience. So they were exiled to Babylon. So the psalmist picks up these words, and again you can hear the passion of the author as he longs to be back in Jerusalem. Hear these words. By the rivers of Babylon we sat and wept when we remembered Zion. There on the willows we hung our harps, for there our captors asked us for songs, our tormentors demanded songs of joy. They said, "Sing us one of the songs of Zion." How can we sing the songs of the Lord while in a foreign land? If I forget you, Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its skill. May my tongue cling to the roof of my mouth if I do not remember you, if I do not consider Jerusalem my highest joy. In Hebrew, that verse, if I forget Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its skill. In Hebrew, it goes, Im ishchoche Yerushalayim tishcha yemene. In fact, there's a very familiar Hebrew song that uses the words that capture the passion of this psalm as they long to return to Jerusalem. Im ishchoche Yerushalayim tishcha yemene. If I forget you, Jerusalem, may my right hand forget its skill. Im ishchoche Yerushalayim is all that can be fit on my ring. And yet when I read this Hebrew, every time I look at my ring, I am reminded that while Jerusalem is a wonderful place, I love the city dearly, it's God who is to be my highest joy. In fact, every time I look at the ring, not only do I think of Jerusalem, but I think of how God surrounds his people. Remember Psalm 125, as the mountains surround Jerusalem, so the Lord surrounds his people both now and forevermore. So we read these words, these solemn words from Psalm 137, and yet we find encouragement in that God desires to be the highest joy of our lives. We are to trust in him, even when we are exiled, so to speak, away from our routine of life, or perhaps away or distant from the joys and the pleasant experiences of life, sometimes we find ourselves in difficulty, in challenging moments, like these exiles did in Babylon, and they yearned to return to Jerusalem. Well, may we find encouragement as we yearn to return to God in even the most difficult of times. And today may we make him and claim him our highest joy. May he bring joy and encouragement to you today as you trust in him. Until next time, shalom.